They didn't knock. They marched straight onto my lawn in broad daylight. Vests, badges, and borrowed authority. When one of them hit my wife over a fence notice, I didn't yell. I didn't threaten. I just stepped outside barefoot and showed them what real combat looks like. But I'll start before all that. That morning still smelled like coffee and new soil. The hardest thing we'd worried about was whether the roses were getting enough sun. It was a Tuesday, the kind that comes soft and easy, like it's in no hurry to leave. The sunlight slid through the curtains, and across the old floors I'd refinished myself. Sarah was already outside when I stepped onto the porch, kneeling beside her rose bed, hair pulled back, a streak of dirt on her cheek. She wore that old white gardening shirt she's had since college. She never noticed when she smudged her face like that. I always loved it. It made her look real. I handed her her coffee. Light cream, 2 sugars, stirred clockwise. She insists direction doesn't matter. She's wrong, but you don't argue with someone you love. We talked about nothing. Roses, the weather, a stray cat that had adopted our porch. It was an ordinary morning, good in all the ways that count. Then Sarah noticed it. A red slip taped to the fence like a warning flag. Another one, she murmured. Violation notice. Fence height. Unapproved display. Escalating fines in 72 hours. She didn't get angry. She just started recording with her phone. Calm, steady, deliberate. That's Sarah. She doesn't fight first. She documents. Because truth matters more when you can hold it in your hand. I thought it was just another petty HOA irritation. I was wrong. Some days start ordinary and end up changing everything. The sun was still warm. The roses still bloomed. But peace, our peace, was already breaking. We heard the boots before we saw them. Heavy, deliberate steps crunching on the gravel. Not a stroll, a march. Sarah's hand brushed mine. Not fear, just grounding. Then they appeared. 2 men in dark vests labeled Property Compliance Division. Their patches were crooked. The gear didn't match. Their confidence was counterfeit. The first one was wide, sweating, jaw locked tight. His name tag said Mark. The other, leaner, twitchy, had his badge hanging sideways. His tag said Kyle. Sarah lifted her phone. Ma'am, Mark barked. Recording is not permitted during enforcement. She didn't flinch. This is my property. This is documentation for legal protection. I felt proud, not because she was brave, but because she was unshakable. Mark didn't like that. Kyle cracked his knuckles like he thought it made him look dangerous. I stepped forward just enough to make my presence known. Morning, I said evenly. They didn't come to talk. They came to intimidate. The air changed, heavy, tight, waiting to see who'd move first. Sarah kept filming. Sunlight glinted off her cracked phone screen. Mark started reciting some HOA code section. Sarah interrupted politely. Show me the ordinance number and your authorization to enforce it. He didn't have either. His jaw flexed. Kyle shifted uneasily. I said it plain. You're trespassing. Mark smirked. We're conducting an enforcement action. Then produce your paperwork, I said. We'll wait. Kyle swallowed hard. They didn't have any. They were there to scare us, not serve justice. Sarah raised her camera higher. Please state your full names for the record. Mark's pride couldn't take it. He stepped toward her, slow, deliberate, ugly. I moved between them. His eyes met mine for the first time, and something changed. What are you going to do about it? He growled. I didn't answer. Timing matters. Sarah didn't move, didn't back away. Kyle muttered under his breath. She thinks that phone makes her safe. Then he swung. Wide and clumsy, but fast enough. His fist hit Sarah's cheekbone with a crack I'll never forget. Her phone flew, still recording, landing in the grass. She staggered, touched her face, saw blood, and didn't even scream. She just looked shocked. That was the moment something old in me came back. The part that doesn't shout, doesn't rage, just acts. Stop, I said. But my voice wasn't mine. It was the one from desert nights and missions that didn't make the news. Mark laughed. Bad decision. He lunged, shoulder first. I pivoted, guided his weight. He missed me completely, tripped over the porch step, and hit the ground face first. The sound was final. His nose broke instantly. Kyle panicked. He swung wildly. I stepped aside. His momentum carried him into the sprinkler post. His jaw hit metal. The noise was wet and wrong. I didn't touch them again. I went to Sarah. Her cheek was swelling, but she was steady. I recorded it, she whispered. It's all on video. I called 911. Calm. Clear. This is Daniel Cooper at 145 Cedar Ridge Drive. 2 men assaulted my wife on our property. Send police and medical. When the paramedics arrived, they didn't need to ask who started it. One look told the story. Sarah bruised and bleeding. The 2 men wrecked by their own aggression. The officers came next. One, older, gray at the temples, asked only, "Assaulted on your property?" "Yes." He turned to them. "You 2 are done. Don't move." As they were loaded into ambulances, I saw Mark's phone in the grass. A text blinked on screen. "Boss, use force if needed." Timestamp, 3 minutes before the punch. Sarah filmed it, her voice steady despite the swelling. "We have proof," she said softly. That's when Ray Dawson, our retired detective neighbor, walked over. "They weren't real enforcers," he said. "Private muscle. No legal authority. He nodded toward Carla Jennings, the HOA president, sent them." He looked at Sarah. "Your video changes everything. They can't spin this." That night, our neighbor Agnes Porter came to our door with a manila envelope full of evidence. Pages of notes from Carla's secret leverage list. Names of residents, their debts, divorces, fears, all weaponized to control us. She said people behave when you hold something they're afraid to lose. Agnes whispered, crying. I helped her. I didn't know what she'd become. Ray examined the notes. "That's racketeering," he said. "And you just exposed it." The next morning, Carla's ex-husband Greg Larson showed up. He looked worn, like a man who'd seen too much. He brought recordings, Carla's drunken confessions, her plan to control the entire neighborhood through fear. "She ordered those men to hit your wife," Greg said. "Not because of offense, because you didn't bend. He warned us. She'll escalate. She always does." That afternoon, I got a text from an unknown number. "Your wife teaches at Lakewood Elementary, right? Kids are so vulnerable at 3:15 dismissal." Sarah's face went pale. That threat wasn't about her. It was about her students. Ray arrived within minutes. "We document everything," he said. "We go to the county, the state, the feds. No more fear in the dark." By evening, our neighbors gathered. Parents, grandparents, teachers, everyone who'd had enough. We formed a watch network. No child walked home alone. Every unfamiliar car was logged. Fear turned into unity. Carla's power had been built on silence. Now silence was gone. That weekend, the entire neighborhood filled the community center. Ray presented the footage. Sarah's video. The text. The leverage book. Greg's recording of Carla bragging about breaking people. The truth was undeniable. 52 hands voted to remove her. None opposed. Then the door opened. Carla walked in. Perfect hair, perfect suit, venom in her smile. "You think you can survive without me?" she said. Agnes stood up. "You didn't keep order," she said. "You kept people afraid." Carla's smile faded. "You don't know what phase 3 is," she whispered and walked out. We found out soon enough. She was arrested a week later. Misuse of HOA funds, harassment, assault by proxy, and threats against the school. The courtroom was silent as the evidence played. Her lawyer called it a misunderstanding. The judge, Evelyn Martinez, didn't buy it. She found Carla guilty on all counts: harassment, intimidation, misappropriation, and targeted psychological threat. Then came the sentence: 18 months probation, restitution, and 200 hours of community service at Lakewood Elementary under supervision. Sarah squeezed my hand when we heard it. Not cruel, just fitting. Carla served her hours quietly, cleaning lunch tables and wiping trays under watchful eyes. She didn't meet anyone's gaze. She didn't speak. Sometimes justice doesn't roar. It just arrives, steady and complete. Months later, peace returned to our street. No more fake notices. No more intimidation. Just neighbors talking again. Kids playing on lawns. Laughter at dusk. Ray became our community security liaison. Agnes baked for everyone's birthdays. Sarah's students brought her flowers. The bruise on her face faded, but no one forgot it. The mark where fear ended. Then one evening, a black pickup pulled up to Carla's old house. Men unloaded locked crates marked surveillance equipment, private security use only. A woman stepped out, dark sunglasses, hair tight, composed and cold. She looked at our house, at the school, assessing everything like a soldier. Sarah slipped her hand into mine. Ray stepped outside, too, his eyes narrowing. The woman smiled faintly and walked inside. 2 red camera lights blinked to life in the window. Sarah whispered, "It's starting again." I nodded. Then we'll face it the same way we did before, together." The cicadas sang. The sun went down. And somewhere inside that house, a new storm began to gather. But this time, our neighborhood was ready.